Never run out of battery again with the INIU portable charger, the slimmest 10,000 milliamp hour power bank that keeps your devices charged on the go. Stay powered up wherever you go. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Welcome to Screen Buzz, where we dive into the juiciest celebrity scandals and stories that'll keep you hooked. Today, we're talking about a very special guest who's got a secret life, none other than Amazing Space's George Clarke. So, what did we know about this charming architect? Well, not much about his love life, actually. But it turns out, George has been through 3 marriages, and each one's story is more dramatic than the last. First up, there was Catriona Drummond, an Australian animator who became George's first wife back in 2009. Sounds lovely, right? Well, things took a sad turn when her brother, Swiggy, passed away from brain cancer at just 39. But what really gets our hearts racing is that George stepped up to carry the Olympic torch on behalf of his new friend. Talk about dedication. After settling into married life with Catriona and their 3 adorable kids, it seemed like they were living the dream. That is, until George's hectic work schedule took its toll. The couple announced their split in 2013, citing an amicable separation. Now you might be thinking, George gets a new girlfriend and everything's fine. But nope. In September 2018, he tied the knot with American fashion marketing consultant Katie Morgan-Jones. Sounds like a fairy tale romance, right? Well, not quite. By 2021, Katie began posting cryptic messages on Instagram, hinting at a messy breakup. It was only in February 2022 when George confirmed the split, leaving fans stunned. But what really caught our attention is that he wasn't alone. He had his eyes on someone new. That's right, folks, George Clarke has been secretly dating opera singer Florence Hvorostovsky since July 2023. Florence, a widow after the tragic loss of her husband in 2017, was supported by her in-laws as she embarked on this new romance. And we can't help but wonder, what's next for this love-struck architect? Will he find his happily ever after with Florence? That's it for today's juicy scoop from Screen Buzz. If you want more celebrity gossip and behind-the-scenes tea, be sure to subscribe to our channel.